1. Which adult learning principle is most important when designing a professional development workshop for experienced meeting planners? A. Adults learn best through lecture-based instruction. Adults bring valuable experience that should be incorporated into the learning process. C. Adults prefer theoretical concepts over practical applications. D. Adults require strict supervision during learning activities. 2. When evaluating the success of a conference education program, which metric provides the most comprehensive assessment of learning outcomes? A. Attendance numbers only. B. Pre- and post-event knowledge assessments, combined with behavioral change indicators. C. Participant satisfaction surveys alone. D. Speaker ratings exclusively. 3. In curriculum development for a multi-day conference, what is the primary consideration when sequencing educational sessions? A. Alphabetical order of session titles. B. Availability of meeting rooms. C. Logical progression from foundational to advanced concepts. D. Speaker preferences for time slots. 4. According to Kirkpatrick's 4 levels of evaluation, Level 3 behavior measures A. Participant satisfaction with the training. B. Knowledge gained during the session. C. Application of learning in the workplace. D. Return on investment for the organization. 5. When developing learning objectives for a breakout session, objectives should be A. Vague to allow for flexibility. B. Written from the instructor's perspective. C. Measurable and learner-centered. D. Focused on content coverage rather than outcomes. 6. Which communication strategy is most effective when presenting complex meeting logistics to diverse stakeholders? A. Using industry jargon to demonstrate expertise. Providing information in multiple formats with visual aids. C. Sending lengthy email explanations. D. Assuming prior knowledge and avoiding repetition. 7. Under the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, meeting planners must A. Only accommodate disabilities if requested in advance. B. Provide reasonable accommodations to ensure equal access. C. Limit accessibility features to reduce costs. D. Accommodate only physical disabilities. 8. When mentoring a new meeting professional, which approach is most effective for skill development? A. Providing all answers immediately to save time. Using guided questioning to help the mentee develop problem-solving skills. C. Criticizing mistakes without offering solutions. D. Avoiding difficult topics to maintain a positive relationship. 9. What is the most important factor in sustaining behavior change after professional development training? A. Single training session attendance. B. Ongoing reinforcement, practice opportunities, and organizational support. C. Expensive course materials. D. Certification exams only. 10. When conducting a needs assessment for conference education content, the first step should be A. Selecting speakers based on availability. B. Identifying the target audience and their learning gaps. C. Booking the venue. D. Creating the conference schedule. 11. What is the primary purpose of formative evaluation in educational program development? A. To assign grades to participants. B. To make improvements during the development process. C. To justify the program budget. D. To eliminate underperforming speakers. 12. In compliance with GDPR regulations, meeting planners collecting attendee data must A. Share data freely with all sponsors. B. Obtain explicit consent and provide transparency about data usage. C. Store data indefinitely without disclosure. D. Only protect data of European citizens. 13. Which instructional design model follows the phases: analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation? A. SMART model. B. Bloom's taxonomy. C. Eddy model. D. Kirkpatrick model. 14. When facilitating a panel discussion, the moderator's primary responsibility is to A. Dominate the conversation with personal opinions. B. Guide the discussion, ensure balanced participation, and engage the audience. C. Allow panelists to speak without time limits. D. Read questions directly from cards without interaction. 15. Which type of evaluation occurs at the conclusion of a learning event to measure overall effectiveness? A. Formative evaluation. Summative evaluation. Diagnostic evaluation. D. Predictive evaluation. In Alta education, the concept of readiness to learn suggests that A. Adults learn best when forced to attend training. B. Adults are motivated to learn when the content is relevant to their life situations. C. Age determines learning capacity. D. Previous education is irrelevant to current learning. 17. When developing a code of conduct for conference attendees, which element is most critical? A. Lengthy legal terminology. B. Clear expectations and consequences for violations. C. Vague guidelines allowing maximum interpretation. D. Rules that apply only to certain attendee categories. 18. Which assessment method is most appropriate for measuring skill acquisition in hands-on meeting technology training? A. Multiple choice written test only. B. Performance-based demonstration with practical application. C. Self-reported confidence surveys. D. Attendance tracking. 19. According to Malcolm Null's adult learning principles, adults are most motivated by A. External pressures and requirements. B. Internal motivators such as self-esteem and quality of life. C. Competitive rankings against peers. Fear of failure. 20. When communicating risk management procedures to event staff, the most effective method is A. Annual written memo. B. Comprehensive training with scenario-based practice and accessible reference materials. C. Verbal instructions only. D. Assuming staff will figure it out independently. 21. Which learning style framework categorizes learners as visual, auditory, reading, writing, or kinesthetic? Bark model. B. Maslow's hierarchy. C. Bloom's taxonomy. D. Kolb's learning cycle. 22. In curriculum design, scaffolding refers to A. Physical room setup arrangements. B. Providing temporary support structures that are gradually removed as learners gain competence. C. Budget allocation for educational programs. D. Speaker fee negotiations. 23. When ensuring compliance with fire safety regulations in meeting spaces, planners must A. Ignore local codes if venue staff is present. B. Verify occupancy limits, emergency exits, and evacuation procedures. C. Only consider regulations for events over 500 people. D. Rely solely on venue guarantees without verification. 24. What is the primary benefit of using blended learning approaches in professional development? A. Reduces costs by eliminating all in-person sessions. B. Combines multiple delivery methods to accommodate different learning preferences and schedules. C. Simplifies content delivery for instructors. D. Eliminates the need for evaluation. 25. When mentoring emerging meeting professionals, which feedback technique is most constructive? A. Public criticism of errors. B. Delayed feedback, provided months after incidents. C. Specific, timely, and balanced feedback focusing on behaviors and outcomes. D. Generic praise without specific examples. 26. In developing educational content, Bloom's taxonomy is used to classify hotels by star rating. B. Categorize learning objectives by cognitive complexity levels. C. Determine speaker fees. D. Schedule break times. 27. Which principle is fundamental to ensuring inclusive communication in diverse meeting environments? A. Using single language materials only. Considering cultural differences, accessibility needs, and varied communication preferences. C. Standardizing all communications without adaptation. D. Limiting communications to reduce confusion. 28. When evaluating the transfer of learning from a training session, planners should measure A. Only immediate post-session test scores. B. Application of skills in actual work environments over time. C. Number of handouts distributed. D. Catering satisfaction ratings 29. Under duty of care obligations, meeting planners must only provide basic venue information. B. Take reasonable steps to ensure the health, safety, and well-being of attendees. C. Transfer all liability to the venue. Focus exclusively on educational content. 30. Which technique is most effective for encouraging active participation in large conference sessions? A. Continuous lecture without breaks. B. Audience response systems, small group discussions, and interactive activities. C. Reading PowerPoint slides verbatim. D. Prohibiting questions to stay on schedule. 31. When designing learning experiences based on experiential learning theory, the cycle includes A. Lecture, test, grade, repeat. B. Concrete experience, reflective observation, abstract conceptualization, active experimentation. C. Registration, attendance, evaluation, certificate. D. Planning, marketing, execution, teardown. 32. What is the primary purpose of a learning management system, LMS, in conference education? A. To replace all in-person learning. B. To deliver, track, and manage educational content and learner progress. C. To reduce the need for qualified instructors. D. To eliminate evaluation requirements. 33. When communicating crisis management protocols, information should be A. Shared only with senior leadership. B. Complex and comprehensive to cover all scenarios. C. Clear, concise, accessible, and regularly practiced through drills. D. Kept confidential from most staff.